Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we are going to do my predictions preview for the Dallas Mavericks versus the Oklahoma City Thunder series. Before we start, I will spend 5 minutes talking about the Dallas Mavericks. I will spend 5 minutes talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then the last 3 or 5 minutes of the video will be my prediction on who I want or who I think will win and how many games, why. But I also will explain why the other team could still win this. So before we start today's video, hit that like and subscribe button and let me hear your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think is going to win this series? Why and how many games? Let's get to it. We'll start with the Dallas Mavericks because I feel like they're a simpler team to explain, while the Thunder are a bit more complex because the Thunder are wild. So are the Mavs. This is a very interesting team matchup. The Mavericks just beat the Clippers. And there's nothing about this Mavericks team that you can pull stats from the regular season and be like, oh, this is what they are, because this team is completely different than the team in the regular season. I mean, since the trade deadline, they've been this high flying. They got, Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford take turns just being these high flying, rim running, shot blocking bigs. And then you got the two elite scorers who basically can give you 50 points in Kyrie and Doncic. And you got two passers in Kyrie and Doncic. And then you got the wing perimeter defenders that you need in the playoffs, and guys like Josh Green, guys like Derek Lively Jr., guys like PJ Washington, who can play basically guard 3, 4, and 5 and can be a small ball 5. So and they still have Dante Exum, Max Kleba. So this team really is built differently. And when we see this, okay, Kassan Wallace, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Lou Dort, I guess, would be going against Kyrie and Luka. I mean, the Thunder are really good defense, but in the NBA, offense has gone so good that even the best defense can't stop the best offense. It's that the disparity is it's real. So Luka's dropping about 30 a night, 26 from Kyrie. You're getting the rest of the offense is putting, 11 from PJ, 9 from Derek Jones, 9 from Derek Lively, 6 from Gafford, 6 from Kleba, 4 from Josh Green, which is crazy that Josh Green just isn't really scoring anymore, when Josh Green kind of had a breakout year the season before. Or when back to the years, he was a 9-point per game scorer, but we thought he was going to take a bigger jump, but he didn't. What is my worry right here with the Mavs in the postseason? So the Mavs in the postseason, they're scoring 107 points, but they're allowing only 100 points. They're one of the best, one of the best shot blocking teams, but they're middle of the pack in terms of rebounding in the playoffs. So for me, what they're gonna have to do is force the opposing team to shoot. They're forcing the opposing team to collectively true shoot 54%, to have a field goal percentage of 43% and a 3-point percentage of around 37%, which isn't bad by any means. Their 3-point percentage is actually at 33%, but they jack up 35 threes a night, but they limit the opposing team to 33s. So I think that's right there. Those stats right there are going to be indicative to how the Mavs are going to win this series. So the Mavs are going to have to shut the perimeter down and use Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford's size to counteract. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to want to get downhill 20 times a game. He's just going to try to get to the lane. So if you clog up the lane, and I think the first thing is you got to close out, I would hedge the screens. So you'd go over, force them to go inside. Do not limit the 3-point shots. Force the Thunder to go inside and face Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, Max Kleba. Because I think the Mavs, Luka Doncic is playing all right defense. The Mavs have enough perimeter defenders in Dante Exum, Josh Green. You also have Derek Lively, PJ Washington, 4 dudes who can guard the perimeter and leave it pretty well matched against a Thunder squad. Because the whole thing is the Thunder are going to try to shoot threes over this is I think Chet is going to be a bit of a worry for me. But this team is going to try to shoot their threes. And they don't, like, the Thunder don't do well at drawing free throws. So I would just tell Shea, J-Dub, and literally leave Josh Giddey open. Tell Josh Giddey to beat you with threes. Maybe same thing with Lou Dort. And then just try to pull Shea and J-Dub out the game. So then it's and you just force them to shoot inside. Because the whole thing is the Thunder play hyper efficient basketball. That's what you're trying to beat. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts on looking to the Thunder. All right, these Oklahoma City Thunder. There's some dogs. I just did that, and my dog's like looking at me as if I did like some sort of arbitrary act. I'm sorry. But either way, let's talk about this team. They're led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's dropping 27 points a night. J-Dub is dropping 21, literally looking like an all-star. You got yourself Chet Holmgren being the third fiddle with 15. Then you got Mr. Josh Giddey, who's hitting 50% of his threes so far and averaging 12.5 points to go along with his 5 rebounds and 3.5 assists. Lou Dort's dropping 11, and then it drops to 6 from Wiggins, 5 from Isaiah Joe, 3 from Wallace, and 3 from Jay Will. And that's kind of their rotation that they're rocking. You know, they got the 5, Dort, Giddey, Holmgren, J-Dub, Shea. And their 6th man has been Kasam Wallace. Then you get Aaron Wiggins to come in, and then a little sprinkle of Isaiah Joe and Jay Will for a breather for the guys. And look, this team has depth, but at the same time, I really like this Thunder team. First off, what they want to do is they're going to bomb threes. They're going to bomb threes. This is a team that shoots almost 35 threes a night so far in the postseason, and they hit them almost at 39%. They've been hitting 13 threes a night. Do you guys know how many freaking points that is? 13 threes a night. That's like almost 40 points just coming from threes. Huge for a squad, and they're gonna put pressure. So what the Thunder want to do is they're going to pull out their defense, the Mavericks defense. They're going to pull out Luka. They're going to pull out Kyrie to the three-point line, put them on the perimeter. And they're going to bomb threes. So what this is going to do is make the defenders, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, have to come out of their drop coverage. Once they get hauled out of the drop coverage, this is where J-Dub and Mr. Shea will go to work. Because you have Chet, who then you're like, oh, how are they going to pull out? Well, Chet's just going to be at the three-point line. He's not going to work inside. So Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively might get played off the floor, and they're going to have to go against P.J. Washington as the perimeter, as the 5th defender to counteract at the. So when they do that, that's when Shea and J-Dub go, oh, we're going to take out the big man. We're going to go to the rack, and they're just going to go and feast and just drive, and just attack P.J. So whenever it's a big, because the whole thing is Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford are going to go no to Shea and J-Dub. You guys can't go into the paint. So what they're going to do is, okay, we're going to pull you out, run pick and rolls, and do pick and pops with Chet at the three-point line, swing the ball around, and just force you guys to come out on the perimeter, and we're just going to keep the ball moving and put your defenders on ice skates. So then when you're like, oh crap, we need a small ball 5, let's put P.J. Washington in. Dang, we're going to then go downhill and just attack P.J. Washington at the rim. No offense to P.J. Washington. I mean, he's a fine, small ball 5. But this is the Thunder strategy to expose them. Okay, we're going to shoot threes when the 7-footers are in, because then that's going to force them to come out on the perimeter and we'll expose them. But then, obviously, the adjustment that the Mavericks will make is put a small ball 5 in. Well, when the small ball 5 in is in, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best at getting downhill and getting to the rim. Nobody can do it like him. And then you got his Robin to his Batman and J-Dub, who's going to do the same thing. And guess what? Oh, let's just say, if for some reason that's not the case, that they keep the bigs in, and for some reason Chet Holmgren gets exposed because he's skinny and these bigs are going, guess what? They did you know on their bench Did you know on their bench they still have like vets? They still got vets on this team. They got Kenrick Williams. They got Gordon Hayward. All right. I'm 95% sure Bismack Biyombo is on this team. Yeah. Not saying that he's really going to play for them, but like if they needed to break the glass, like they can throw him out there. I don't think he's even appeared in a game for them, but he's there. He is there. So let's get into the predictions on who we think is going to win. But like, dude, this Thunder team, the other thing is I know like if they're they have a deep bench. They have a bunch of shooting on the bench mixed with veterans. So I'm not worried about if somebody gets hurt because they're kind of prepared for that. So let's get right into the prediction. Dude, I've gone back and forth on this series in my mind. First off, this is a 7-game series. If you don't think these teams are just going to okay, I think the home team is just going to win this every 2 for Dallas, 2 for OKC, and then when we go back to OKC, I believe for Game 5, they'll win that. Then Game 6 in Dallas, they'll win that, and then Game 7 in OKC is what I think is going to be the deciding factor here, guys. It's just these teams the fan bases are riding with them. The teams love playing at home. And it's hard here because first off, what does Dallas have? They have 2 bona fide Hall of Famers on their team. Not saying that Shea is not a Hall of Famer. Shea is he's on pace to more than likely have a Hall of Fame career if he plays like this for the next 10 years. But Kyrie and Luka are 2 players that are in their primes that are Hall of Famers. And then, obviously the experience, they have the flexibility of either going small ball with PJ Washington, Derek Jones Jr., Josh Green, Kyrie, Luka, to being big with with Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, either Derek Jones or Josh Green, Kyrie, Luka. And then the Thunder, they have their versatilities of being able to go. It's their starting lineup of Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, Shea, J-Dub, Chat, which is insane. So much defense, so much length. I think the shortest guy on the floor right there is 6'5". It's like, it's not even funny. And then off the bench, you got Kassan Wallace, dog. You got J. Will, great backup big. And you sprinkle in a little Isaiah Joe in there. And a little bit of Aaron Wiggins as well, who's a Swiss Army knife in his own right. It's hard because these teams are so evenly matched up. And again, if we go back to the thing, the one thing that we keep going back, if we're not going to talk about before we talk about the stuff that we talked earlier in the video, is what Kyrie and Luka are, Hall of Famers. And these are those moments that I think the experience and being in these high pressure situations are valuable for a team. And I know there's veterans on the Thunder, and the Thunder have not blinked. They have not blinked. And pressure makes diamonds. So that's where it gets hard for me, because I tell myself, well, Dallas has that going for them. But like I just said, the Thunder have not blinked. Okay? They have not blinked. And the whole thing we keep saying, it's everyone's saying this. The one weakness that the Thunder have is that they're probably going to blink, but they have not blinked. So when a team hasn't blinked, are we going to say they're going to blink now? And that's where it's hard, because they can't do that because they haven't done it. And momentum's a real thing. Man, this is where it's hard. I really think it's a toss-up, guys. I'm going to choose, for the sake of this video, the Dallas Mavericks in 7 games because of the Hall of Famer thing. End of the game, I want Kyrie or Luka just doing what they do best. And if it has to be a shootout, I have faith that those two can win the shootout against Shea and J-Dub. But the Thunder have not blinked. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. That's it, guys. Hope you did. This one was tough.